Peter Para-Onen.
Tēnā koe, Mr. Speaker, tēnā no hoki tātou. Ka nui ngā mihi kia koutou e noho nei i te tautoko mai te kaupapa nei. Mo henau mai i te rārau tau, tai no i te wā nei, ko tēnei te tahi o ngā taumahatanga kei i nohona kei runga ia koutou, ia hai ki ngā mahi ki kino a te crown kia koutou o te awa. Nā rere ngā mihi hoki kia koutou e te rānei. Mr. Speaker, when this bill first came onto the order paper, I went home that night and I thought of two people in particular. And in so naming them, I'm not being disrespectful to those who have carried this kaupapa from last century through to the present time. And one was Nick Tangaroa, because I knew him in Auckland as an active member of the union, and he was a good fellow to have on your side. And the other one was, and it wasn't until he was knighted that I came to know what his real name was, but I always knew him as Archie Tairo. Archie and I worked for the Maori Affairs Department in a time when we actually looked after our people in a way that we don't necessarily see today. But that's another issue. So, ka nui taku mihi kia rāua. Aha koa kare rātou rāua I noho ā tinana I Whanganui a tātou e te rānei, engari kei te maumahara ia rātou. Nā reira kei moi mai kourua e Nick e Archie me rātou mā. E noho nei I te kāpuni o ngā wairua. Nā reira, ko e ta wāhi mā koutou, ka hoki mai ki a tātou te hungora, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Mr. Speaker, listening to the previous speaker, I think she made some telling points when we talk about the river as a living being, and she made mention about legislation or the law actually catching up with tikanga. And when she said that, I thought of the fisheries settlement, particularly that part surrounding the Kermadicks, where it passed through this house. Everyone was happy because it was ensconced in legislation, the protection of our fishing rights. And then over recent weeks, things seem to have forgotten about the legislation. And so while I support, and New Zealand First supports this legislation, I think it is incumbent on all of us, those of us who sit in this house, those of you who have come sitting in the gallery, to ensure that we never ever see the river lost to us again. Mr. Speaker, this settlement is somewhat a little bit different from other settlements, because it comprises two deeds. The first deed is to establish the river as a separate legal entity. It provides for 2 river guardians, the development of a strategy for river well-being, vesting Crown-owned bed in Te Awa Tupua, and the establishment of funds to support the activities of these entities. The second deed, where the historic account is agreed to, Crown makes acknowledgements and apologises. There is cultural and financial redress for the Whanganui iwi. So in all, the settlement redress of 81 million, the funding for Te Korotete of 30 million for the health and well-being of Te Awa Tupua, Te Pau Tupua, $200,000 per annum for the next 20 years. And I would recommend that they take it, they capitalise on that fund and take the $4 million now, rather than wait for every year for over the next 20 years. And Te Heke Ngāhuru of $430,000 for administration costs. The good thing about this, and I think she was acknowledged, the Mayor of Whanganui is in attendance, and given the history between council and local iwi over recent years, I think it augurs well to know that we have the support of the local body in terms of the future of the river. And I just want to acknowledge that and have that placed on the record of Hansard. Mr. Speaker, when I think about the Whanganui River, I recall first hearing the saying of, "The river is me and the river and I am the river." And I thought that we in Ngāti Hine were the only iwi who subscribed to that notion when we talked about our traditional river, Tau Mārere Here Here Te Riri. And being brought up in a place called Motatau, and I think it was someone who talked about, it was Mr. Davis, talked about swimming in the local river and learning more about one another. I think it was the member for the Maori Party. And I can remember doing the same thing. And when she said knowing about others, I thought, hang, they must have been just like us. We go for a swim, no clothes, and we know what everybody is about. And those are some of the histories surrounding our rivers. And to learn about one another in more ways than one, I might add, but also to realize how important the river has been to our tupuna. As a young person going to the Bay of Islands College and learning about Māori history, I can recall seeing photos of towers holding tuna, and the caption saying that these were on the Whanganui River. And again, I likened the Whanganui River to our traditional river of the Haukainga, of Tau Mārere Here Here Te Riri. But I welcome this opportunity of contributing to this debate, but also having this bill refer to the Maori Affairs Select Committee, because it will give people the opportunity to express their view as to whether or not they support or oppose the bill. And if they do, then it gives them the opportunity to articulate as to why. And having said that, Mr. Speaker, I commend the bill to the House. Kia ora.